Welcome to the complete animation of Lola Bunny from Space Jam: A New Legacy. This movie is weird. And I guess that's par for the course, because, the original Space Jam was really weird. But this one, I don't know. I like to think that half the movie is good, but that half is interspersed well within the other half. And the half that isn't good is a real slog to get to. But this bit that you're seeing right here, where it's this really stylized sort of comic book world animation, this is like good stuff. Fun part of the movie. In fact, I'd say that all of the time that LeBron James spends as a toon in this movie is the best part, where he has the aesthetic of, he just arrived in the world of the Looney Tunes, and he has, that cartoon vibe going on for him. I really wish that they would have kept that the entire movie. But no, and also, later on, they go and change everybody into CG models for the big game. And I'm more cynical about that decision. I think that decision was fueled more by either algorithms or trends or something. There's some reason besides just artistic integrity that made them want to do that. Because, as good as those 3D models are and as well as they are animated, I don't think that the movie was better because that's how the big game was played. This stuff right here, where they're all hand-drawn, stylish, and high resolution, it's all good. And it's like, this stuff is all digital. All of these characters were completely animated by artists using drawing tablets. It's just as digital as the 3D models that they end up having later on. But I think that this looks better. And I hope that with this complete animation, you will see where I'm coming from with that decision. Although this little bit of her transforming is pretty cool. Now, let's talk more about the character of Lola. There are basically 3 works that I'm familiar with that have Lola Bunny in it. The original Space Jam, which is where the character was introduced, the Looney Tunes show, and this movie, Space Jam: A New Legacy. I don't know why they didn't just call it Space Jam 2, but whatever. And in the first movie, Lola was basically made to be Bugs' girlfriend, sort of a thing. But they kind of moved away from that in this one, and I think that it's kind of neat. It's like, it's like sort of unspoken that, they still have a thing going on for each other. But in this one, Lola is clearly not, I don't know. I think I like this version of the character's personality more. Although the Looney Tunes show is really different, but I guess that's just par for the course for that show. That show, it did things with the characters that a bunch of Looney Tunes purists don't think worked as well. But I'll say this about the Looney Tunes show. It made me watch 2 seasons of basically sitcom stuff. Sitcom stories, sitcom situations, and loved it. I've watched and rewatched the entire series 2.5 times. That's how much I enjoy the Looney Tunes show. And the portrayal of Lola in that show is perfect for the show. But I don't think that that's the best portrayal of the character for every appearance, and I actually like her personality in this one. And to anybody who has anything to say about the redesign of her her character model, I would just like to point out that every character has changes. Like Bugs, his teeth are really long in this movie. Like, really long. I think these are probably the longest teeth that Bugs has ever had. But, you know, if you've got something more to say about the character model of Lola Bunny, I invite you to at least watch my complete animation of her from the original Space Jam, because then you'll be able to have a better comparison. It's like, if you want to see that character model doing things, I've got a resource for you. And that's one of the things that I like to do about this complete animation series. Nobody does this. I am the only person in the world who does this. There is no one else in the world who takes a movie, cuts it down to one character, and crops into that character so that anybody who wants to see that character can just watch. It's like, there are some videos where it's like the entire movie, but only when this character is on the screen. And I think that's the closest that anybody else has gotten. I go one step further and crop and zoom so that it's like, if you want this character, you can see them. Like, no, and nobody does that but me. I just think that that is so cool. And apparently other people like it too. Like, my YouTube channel just barely crossed 28,000 subscribers. And I'm constantly getting people asking for, hey, can you do the complete animation of such and such a character? My answer to those questions is no. In fact, I'm going to make it my personal goal. I am not going to respond to anybody asking that question. If anybody comments on a video or on one of my posts saying, can you do a complete animation of X character? I will not respond. Like, anybody who wants to know something else about the channel or what my thoughts about a movie, oh yeah, sure, I'll respond to those things, but my goal from here on out is to never respond to that question again on my channel. I think that my life will be better because people ask it all the time, and the answer is always, look, I've got a Patreon. It's only $20. Like, $20 for you to do it. And do you know how much time it takes me to make these things? I think that this video right now, the one that I'm narrating, doing commentary for, I think that took me 4 hours. So $20 for 4 hours of work, that's $5 an hour. That is below minimum wage. Come on. If you want to request something, just go to my Patreon, and I'll do it. I will. Nobody's done it yet. In fact, I've only had one patron, and I'm very grateful for that. The income that I get from that one patron basically goes right into Patreon to support the creators I like. But yeah, so let's talk about the story of Space Jam: A New Legacy. I don't think it's very strong. It doesn't feel as good as the original one. It's like the original Space Jam, its story was like, it was more concerned with the Looney Tunes. It was like the Looney Tunes were the victims, they were in trouble, they needed help. But in this one, dragging the star player's entire family into it, it just didn't feel right. I don't know. And the whole relationship between LeBron and his son, like, it didn't feel natural. I don't know. But what I do know is that this movie has some really awesome animation, and if I were going to make a personal cut of this movie, I would just cut out all of the stuff that's just in the human world. Like, I would just do it. It wouldn't make sense, but I would rewatch this movie from beginning to end if that was the cut I had. Also, this ending is kind of garbage. Bugs dies, but then he doesn't really. I don't know. Thanks for watching.